This is video 4 in a free 9-part series showing you how to get started responding to tenders for the very first time. In this video, I'm going to cover off how you prepare the response template. Get yourself organised early up so that you don't have to waste a lot of time later on as the closing date looms. So the quality of the document that you start working in can have a huge impact on how well you go with pulling your tender response together over time. Remember I talked in the last video about how some templates can be super buggy and how you need to keep the order. So I just want to demonstrate to you what I mean by super buggy. So this is an example of a offer this is quite an old one that I've just pulled out. So to see what I mean by buggy, if you go to the Home tab on the ribbon in Word, and then you click on this little button here, it'll show you all of the styles that are in the document. Now, this is a template. This is as was received from the department, and you can see that there is a lot of styles throughout this document because this template has been used and reused over a long period of time, and different people have worked in it, different people have set up different styles. To give you an example of what a nice clean template looks like, if I was just to start a new document, like so, and then I open up the styles, there's an example of a clean template. If you don't work in a clean template, if you work in one like this, over time you're going to start getting errors and things just won't work well, and your document will look awful and you won't know why. And it's because of all of this baggage, if you like, from past tenders in the document. So I think the easiest way for me to show you, if you're not familiar with Microsoft Word, and you're not real good on the computer, I think the easiest way to show you how I would go about setting up a template is if you go to my website and click on free stuff in the menu, and for now I've got a customizable proposal template that you can download for free. So go ahead and download that. You will need to register if you haven't already. And then save it in your folder. There it is here. And then double click it and it'll open up. I'll just get rid of this and bring it across so you can see it opened up. There's some README instructions. If you strike any problems, then go to the README first document that I showed you. Now, let me just go back and show you where it is. There's a README first document. And if you have trouble, it's because of your security settings. So just work your way through these instructions. They look a bit daunting, but they're quite easy to follow, and that will sort that. And what you might find is when you do double click and open it, you get this security warning: macros have been disabled, enable content. You need to enable the content because part of the automation process is to use macros. So just click enable content and then the document will work as it's intended. I can guarantee you there are no nasty viruses or malware embedded in this document. I guarantee you that it is clean, and I cannot afford to let you down on that. Okay, so this document will help you speed up the process of setting up an easy to use template. So if we click here, you'll see that it's reasonably clean. I've got extra styles in here that are deliberate. The first section is, first of all, some instructions on how to use this document. You see these grey things? If you click this little P, backward P thing here. You can turn them off and turn them on. I like to use this little P thing. It's a formatting tool, and I like to use it because I can see all of the formatting. If you turn this off, you see this page break here. If you turn this off, page break disappears. So then you don't understand why the document's doing what it's doing. So just keep this on at all times. It may look ugly, but it will help you speed up your editing. Now you can change the appearance of this document in a limited way. And I've selected 5 of the most readable fonts, and I've also selected matching heading fonts. So you can select your font here and here, and it will go through the document and change the headings and the font. So if I wanted to, if I said I want Garamond instead, Garamond will, the document will change to Garamond font. I recommend that you keep these fonts because they've been strategically selected for readability. Don't worry about the colours at the moment, we're going to sort that. You can change the size of the headings by clicking this little button here. And you can choose a colour and change your colour scheme. So if you click the button, a colour picker pops up. I like blue, so let's select blue, and bam, the colour scheme has changed. And that will be changed throughout the whole document. It does take a little while because the script is quite long in the back of the document. You can also, if you don't like this heading font, you can change that. Let's make it yellow. See how awful that looks. Oh, there you go. Let's take it back to white. So on tables, the heading font will be white. I had to set this up because it didn't automatically change often. Now, you can also change images. So we've got an image here, which is in the header, and we've also got an image on the front page. The image in the header is designed to be your logo or their logo. So to change this image, you need to double click into the header and then just click here and it will load the image finder. So then just click and navigate to where the image is. Put my logo in there and there she goes. And to change the image at the front, you go through the same process, except we're not working in the header anymore, or you may need to put it in twice because of the way that the template is set up. We may also want to put it here, so if you just first of all put your title here and then click out of the header until you get to the front page, and we can put another logo here. Resize that and make it a bit bigger, and then we can change the image behind, and I'm just going to put this one in just because it's easy to find. Remove the old one and click and drag to fit your image into your document, and there we are. You can also click or tap the title and put your company name in here. more, and there we are. Once you've picked your colour and your colour scheme and your headings, then I suggest that you delete this content. Get rid of that whole section. Highlight it, hit delete, and bam, it's gone. Now, the rest of this document is set up in proposal style. So a proposal doesn't tend to have the dedicated evaluation criteria that a formal request for tenders does. So this is kind of just laid out how I recommend that you complete unsolicited proposal documents. In this case, just get rid of this for a moment and bring up the tender. There is a response schedule, and that is the response schedule here. So this is a PDF. I'm going to bring up the Word document here. Navigate. You can turn, this is a really handy pane to have on. You can see it by hitting View and then Navigation pane here. See how I turn it off and it disappears. If we navigate down to the response schedules, there they are there. You remember that I talked about not bringing across buggy styles and that sort of thing. If we have a look at this document, go to Home, press Styles, you can see that there's all kinds of styles in there, and there's some proprietary stuff in here. So I don't want any of that. Therefore, I'm going to copy this and paste it without a style, which is something that I need to show you and step you through. First of all, let's arrange these two documents side by side. So the document 1 and document 2. Okay, so I've managed to get the two documents lined up side by side. So these headings we need to use faithfully and copy them across. So instead of contact details, this is tender forms. This is instructions. You can just highlight this and delete it to remove it. The next heading is form of tender. Now, the form of tender is something that's used quite commonly. This is like the legal stuff, if you like. This is telling the buyer who is actually submitting the tender in terms of a legal contracting entity. So to change that to a level 2, this is a heading 1 and this is a heading 2. So we go up to Home and we go to Styles and we select heading 2. The other way to do that is to click this little button here and it brings in the styles and you select heading 2 from there. And then just close it to get it out of the way for now. This information is really important. This is your offer, if you like, and it needs to be dated and signed. So I'm just going to copy this, right click, copy, and then we paste it as text. Text means that it's flattened, if you like. It's had the styles taken out of it. So if we just select this, so I've just right clicked here and I've selected keep text only. So keep the text, don't keep anything else to do with that content. And it picks up the normal style, and then we have the dated this day of, and you just fill that out. Our details, okay, so they're slightly different. So we'll just copy this, right click, and highlight, and then again paste as text. And then to change this style, we go back and we select table heading style. There it is, there, table heading left, and that puts it back in the right style. So I'll just do this for this one. Copy, paste as text, highlight, select table heading left, and it picks up the style in this. So we haven't copied any of the wrong styles across, and we've kept the document clean. The next page is the same, so we're not going to make any changes there. And then the form of tender is the first thing that they should see, because this is, as I said, this is the offer. And then after that, there is the table of content. They haven't asked for an executive summary, and then if they haven't asked for one, I'm suggesting that you don't give them one. The reason is they're not going to use it for the evaluation purposes. Sometimes an executive summary is useful if you are bidding for private companies and not government work. Otherwise, we just remove this exec summary and it brings up the table of contents. At any time you want to update the table of contents, simply hover your mouse somewhere over the table of contents, right click and select update field, and it will update it to the current table of contents. And when you've finished your document, make sure you update it at the end. The next is the compliance and disclosure requirements. So I'm just going to put it in here. However, this is just instructions, so you don't need to copy that into your response document. And I typically, if I was, sometimes I copy the instructions across and I delete them later because they can be useful to retain. But in this case, we don't really need the compliance instructions. We do need the heading though. And we need this heading, and we need compliance with condition of tendering a contract. You can also just highlight this, copy it, and then paste as text, like so. Take that number out. And if you want to change this from all caps to sentence case, then you highlight it and you go up to the font, and this little icon here, change case, just make it sentence case or capitalize each word. If you're going to capitalize each word, some of them aren't actually supposed to be capitalized, the shorter words, and the articles aren't always capitalized in a heading. And then we change the style, heading 2, and then this one is heading 3. And then we've got some tables. You can copy the tables directly. So if you were to say copy this table, copy, and then paste this as text, it loses all its formatting, like so. No matter, you can turn that back into a table by highlighting it and going to, let me see, design, no, layout, and, insert, sorry, convert text to table, there, and it'll pick up the auto formatting caused by the tabs, and bam, there it is. Now this table heading font here doesn't look right, so change that to table heading, and bam, you've got a nice table. Sometimes it's hard to get your cursor out of here, so go up to layout, split table, and then you've got a new table. If you want to then just put your cursor at the end and hit enter, you can then get additional rows in there. In order to do that, I would then copy those, right click, Control C, and then paste, highlight the whole lot, right click, paste, and there they are. And then we need to turn that into a table heading as well. We need these headings here. Right click, and that becomes heading 4. I'll just take that text number out, and there you have it. So continue to do this for the whole document. You see these boxes here, you don't need those. So if we were going to copy this section, then right click, copy, go down to the bottom, and right click, paste as text, and then highlight and turn that into a heading 4. We don't need this, so right click and select delete table. And there you have it. Now that is a question. It's their instruction, so you can choose to leave that in, or you can delete it at some point because it's not your response, it's their instruction to you. I like to leave this sort of thing in, and therefore I would change it to a different color. So if we highlight it and go up to here to font and select a color, remember we used that blue, then that question is now in blue, and then you can write your response underneath it. So go ahead and finish copying everything across into the document, and then you're finished. You've got a working template that you can start working in directly into.